Shalom, shalom. First off, I want to start out by giving all the glory, infinite praise, and honor unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Hakodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone that do rule and teach well. Peace, love, and salutation to the hopeful elect that is out there pushing this truth and our sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth, giving diligence to make your call and revelation sure. Shalom. All right, this is your brother Hashah from the Great Millstone Savannah Camp, coming back in the spirit with another lesson. Lord willing, I pray and hope that it is edifying and exhorting. All right, and I want to bring out this video and then go into some scriptures. Breaking news. This could be the beginning of World War III. All right, the actual start according to the scriptures. All right, now we know that fighting has been going on for a while, right? But the scripture says in Matthew 24 that there would be rumors of wars, right? But the end was not yet. So, there has been fighting and wars, really since America began, all right? Since the so-called white man came into power, there has always been wars, right? But, this war is the last war, all right? It's the war to end all wars, okay? It's the war before the kingdom of heaven, okay? As as it's also known as Armageddon. Okay, so hey, the Lord is doing big things. All right, and the Euphrates is dried up. Okay, so hey, let me play the video.
Israel launched Operation Rising Lion, a targeted military operation to roll back the Iranian threat to Israel's very survival. This operation will continue for as many days as it takes to remove this threat. For decades, the tyrants of Tehran have brazenly, openly called for Israel's destruction. They've backed up their genocidal rhetoric with a program to develop nuclear weapons. In recent years, Iran has produced enough highly enriched uranium for 9 atom bombs. 9. In recent months, Iran has taken steps that it has never taken before, steps to weaponize this enriched uranium. And if not stopped, Iran could produce a nuclear weapon in a very short time. It could be a year, it could be within a few months, less than a year. This is a clear and present danger to Israel's very survival. 80 years ago, the Jewish people were the victims of a Holocaust perpetrated by the Nazi regime.
No, you weren't.
Today, the Jewish state refuses to be a victim of a nuclear Holocaust perpetrated by the Iranian regime. Now, as Prime Minister, I've made it clear time and again, Israel will never allow those who call for our annihilation to develop the means to achieve that goal. Tonight, Israel backs those words with action. We struck at the heart of Iran's nuclear enrichment program. We struck at the heart of Iran's nuclear weaponization program. We targeted Iran's main enrichment facility in Natanz. We targeted Iran's leading nuclear scientists working on the Iranian.
Yeah, and this is a Ashkenash Edomite. All right, a German, what you would call today. All right, and not a Jew. All right, hey, this could be the beginning, man. All right, beautiful. It's beautiful. Now we'll see. All right, because here lately Iran been tucking tails, man. All right, but they did strike Israel earlier. I believe it was earlier this year or last year. In the beginning of last year, they actually struck them. They hit them. All right, they pierced the so-called Iron Dome. All right, which is a THAAD missile defense system. All right, but it's outdated. Okay, so it's not so golden anymore. All right, it's not so high tech as it may seem to be. Okay, so that's why they're doing these preemptive strikes, because they know that if nukes got involved, all right, then something would happen. Then anything could happen. They be wiped off. All right, there's nothing you could do to really stop these these nukes, man. And it's funny, all right, because hey, this could be it. We hope, all right, we pray. We wish we hasten the day and the coming of our Lord Yahweh Shai. All right. This is Isaiah 13:6. It says, "How ye, for the day of the Lord is at hand. It shall come as a destruction from the Almighty. Therefore shall all hands be faint, and every man's heart shall melt." All right. Hey, it's going to be fearful in that day, the World War III. All right. It's going to be drafts. All right. It's going to be people dying. Now, people are dying now. People are getting hit by missiles and bombs and Ukraine. All right. And Gaza. All right. Pakistan, they was, throwing missiles at the Indians, you know. But hey, these things are a part of the biblical prophecy, man. Verse 8, it says, "And they shall be afraid, pangs and sorrows shall take hold of them. They shall be in the pain of a woman that travaileth." All right, and isn't that sound like Jacob's trouble? All right, are we not in the midst of a time like never before seen before for the native tribes, here in America? All right, for the and I say natives because the so-called Mexicans, they were here. Okay, contrary to popular belief. All right, it says, "They shall be in pain as a woman that travaileth. They shall be amazed one at another. Their faces shall be as flames." Okay, and why is their faces going to be as flames? All right, either they're going to be afraid, right? Like their hair is on fire. You got that saying, like your hair is on fire, right? Or basically, they're gonna be running like chickens, like so they're gonna be as flames. It says, "Behold, the day of the Lord cometh cruel, both with wrath, um, and fierce anger, to lay the land desolate, and he shall destroy the center thereof out of it." All right, and how's the Lord gonna do that? Through thermonuclear missiles. Okay, verse 10, it says, "For the stars of heaven and the constellations thereof shall not give their light. The sun shall be darkened in his going forth, and the moon shall not cause her light to shine." All right, meaning it's gonna be nothing but doom and gloom out here, man. All right, ain't gonna be no sunshine, no sunshine. You know, like that song. All right, it's not gonna be no happy days, man. They talking about make America great again, the golden age. No, this is gonna be a time of darkness, man. All right. Verse 11, it says, "I will punish the world for their evil," okay, "and the wicked for their iniquity, and I will cause the arrogancy of the proud to cease." All right, and I will. It says, "And will lay low the haughtiness of the terrible. I will make a man more precious than fine gold." That's that. Hey, that's the elect. Even a man than the golden wedge of Ophir. All right, and this is not talking about just any man. All right, it's talking about the elect man. All right, the Israelite man. Okay, more importantly. All right, and only the elect is going to do miracles and have spiritual powers. You see, they're not the Israelites have spiritual powers during all the other times of tribulation. Okay, Samson. All right, King David did not one run through a troop. All right, did not King David jump over a wall? Hey, the Lord is going to raise up a standard for the elect. Okay, it says, "Therefore will I shake the heavens, and the earth shall be moved out of her place, and the wrath of the Lord of hosts, and in the day of his fierce anger." You see, hey, bombs going off. It's going to be a great shaking out here, man. The Lord is going to shake the earth. Okay, nukes going off. All right, people being chased. All right, "And it shall be as a chased roe, and as a sheep that no man taketh. They shall every man turn to his own, and flee every one into his own land." Right, meaning that these people are going to resort back to their nature. All right, true nature is going to take hold. All this mixing, everybody's going to go back to their own people. All right, you in that day you gonna have to depend on Jake. All right, if you a Jake, You know, if you a so-called Mexican or a so-called Native American, you're gonna have to depend on your people. All right, and these Edomites are doing the same. They're gonna do the same. Wait, all right, we got the which the bishop was just talking about, the um defiance of the king. Okay, that's gonna be might be a one of those events, man. Okay, could be your black swan. All right, it says, and it shall be as the chase roe, and as a sheep that no man taketh up. They shall every man turn to his own people and flee, every one into his own land. Every one that is found shall be thrust through. All right, hey, you're gonna be seeing bodies, and you're gonna pick them up. They're gonna be thrust through. All right, hey, it's gonna be a lot of death. It says every one that is joined unto them shall fall by the sword. Their children also, and this is going into you Edomites. All right, you you know, so-called red-blooded Americans. All right, you red, you know what you are. It says their children also shall be dashed to pieces before their eyes. Their houses shall be spoiled and their wives ravished. So the same thing you did to us, you ravished our women, right? Your wives are gonna be ravished, man, in this time. What? Well, just wait. All right, it's gonna be children being, dashed to pieces. And if you join to this man as an Israelite, all right, hey, you getting thrust through, and this goes to you too. All right, America is going to be a real valley and shadow of death, you know, and that's beautiful too. You know, when you break that down, now that I'm thinking about it, right, the valley of the shadow of death. All right, a shadow is something that is cast, right? Something that is cast by an object. So America is the object of death. This is where the Edomite rule. Nothing but bloodshed. Okay, and it's only right that it go out the same way. All right, the same way it was established. You have not hated violence, therefore violence shall cover thee. All right, blood is gonna cover you. All right, it says, verse 17, behold, I will stir up the Medes against them, which shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it. They don't care about your money. They don't care. All right, they don't want it. It says their bows also shall dash the young men to pieces. So, hey, uh, those Medes, right, which the modern day Medes are, uh, the basically those Iranians over there, man. All right, when you go into this, I just asked Chat GBT, the modern day, the Medes are the ancient Indo-Iranian people mentioned frequently in the Bible and historical records. They lived in the region of Medio-Persia, right? It says, and what is now northwestern Iran, all right? And they're still in their land. It says, and in the Bible are often mentioned in connection with Babylon's fall, right? Which we're reading, right? The Medo-Persian Empire, right? And these are said to be joined to who? You know, the Russians, Salakia. Ezekiel the 38th chapter. All right. It says the the ancient territory of Media overlaps the modern Kurdistan, which spans part of Iran, Iraq, Turkey, and Syria. All right. It says ancient Greek and Islamic historians like Xenophon and Al-Masik associate the Kurds with the Medes. All right. So all around that area, man. All right. And they're likely going to get involved in this war. All right. The Persians. All right. And that's going into, um, all that whole region. Okay. Salakia. It says, um, who are the minor Medes, right? Well, that's pretty much the point on that. So, like, it says their bows also shall dash the young men to pieces, right? So all your men, all your young men, right, of war fighting age, they're gonna be dashed to pieces, man. You know, you're not gonna win this war. So, like, give me something to drink real quick. So, like, it says, and they shall have no pity on the fruit of the womb. Their eyes shall not spare children. They're not gonna spare children, man. All right, they don't care, how young, how little, you know, they gonna kill, man. When they get the go ahead from Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Salakia. It says in Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldees' excellency shall be as when God overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. All right, and everybody knows the story of Sodom and Gomorrah. All right, they know that the Lord overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah with fire. All right, and we were going into the El Yashwan was going into the flood behavior. Right, and the scripture says what? As it was um, in the beginning, so shall it be at the end. Okay, and pre-flood, the same thing was going on. Violence, all right, perversion, okay, wickedness being, put on the forefront. This is what happened in Sodom and Gomorrah. All right, so much so that they basically were, trying to, take advantage of a man in during the time of Lot, right? During the time of Noah. This is what was happening. All right. And then the Lord sent what? A flood, right? Or he destroyed. The same thing is going to happen to this society, man. All right, verse 20. It shall never be inhabited, neither shall it neither shall it be dwelled in from generation to generation. Neither shall the Arabian pitch tent there, right? Because you got a lot of Arabs here, right? I just came from the local store. Damn Arab in there, right? Or Elamite, right? Meaning all these other nations not gonna be here no more, man. All right, nobody's gonna be able to set up shop in Babylon the Great ever again in America. It says, neither shall their shepherds make their fold there, but wild beasts of the desert shall lie there, and their houses shall be full of doleful creatures, and owls shall dwell there, and satyrs shall dance there, right? Meaning the birds, right? Nothing but creatures that can fly high, right? Because it's gonna be a lot of pollution, right? All the stuff that's really on the ground, hey, that stuff is never ever gonna grow again, right? So this place is gonna be uninhabitable, right? Once those nukes hit it, nuclear radiation, these people think they're gonna come out to bunkers. These people who got bunkers in America, all right. This place is gonna be wiped out, man. All right. It says, "And the wild beasts of the islands shall cry in their desolation, houses and dragons in their pleasant palaces, and her time is near to come, and her days shall not be prolonged." Okay, America, Babylon the Great is going to get touched. Okay, thou thoughtest thou were a lady forever. You thought you could be a lady forever. All right, this is a proxy war that's going on between Iran and Israel. Okay, Salakia, man, I just came from a run. So, Isaiah 41. Come down, sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground, there is no throne. Okay? And you are on the throne, you sit, basically on the throne of the earth right now. All right? You have control over the banking systems. All right? You control transportation. You control water. You control climate. All right. You have your foot on the earth's neck. All right. But the Lord is going to get you, man. All right. It says, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate. Take take the millstones and grind meal, uncover thy locks. Make bare the leg, uncover the thigh. Pass over the rivers. Thy nakedness shall be uncovered, yeah, thy shame shall be seen. I will take vengeance, and I will not meet thee as a man. For our Redeemer, Yahweh of hosts, is his name, the Holy One of Israel. All right. It says, sit thy silent, and get thee into darkness. We just read that in Isaiah the 13th chapter. Isaiah got to be my favorite book. All right. This is one of my favorite books because Isaiah prophesied the downfall, man. He prophesied the destruction. He was, basically chanting that place. He was chanting this place down. The visions that he saw, the things that he knew. Okay? He was chanting that place down, man. So he told her, man, he said, you're no more going to be called the Lady of Kingdoms. All right? You're going to get into darkness. It's going to be dark for you, And the modern day Chaldeans are going into you Edomites, your upper echelon, your elites. All right? It says, for thou shalt no more be called the Lady of Kingdoms. Verse 6, I was wroth with my people, and I have polluted mine inheritance and given them into thine hand. So whose hand are we in right now? Right? Who's making us pay taxes? All right, who is kicking the Native Americans out of who's not the Native Americans, Salakia, the so-called Mexicans, which they are natives to this land, right? But they're not considered Native Americans, right? But who's doing that right now? They're in your hands, okay? No other nation on the planet is doing something like that, but you, okay? So if the so-called Mexicans are not Israelites, then what are they? Who are they? Nobody can tell you that, but the chart is wrong. Niggas just got stupid arguments, right? It says, and thou didst show them no mercy. You ain't showing them people no breaking windows. I seen the videos. You're being that devil, okay? And I don't, it is what it is. Issachar need to wake up, right? Jake need a wake up call. I was telling Jake, you go to these different jobs, you trying to test Jake, hey, them, the Northern Kingdom, they throw it off, man. They need this, man. All right, they need this kick in the butt. So, the Lord said at the end, we're gonna overcome. Just wait on it. All right. It says, "Thou didst show them no mercy. Upon the ancient has thou verily laid thy yoke, and thou said, I shall be a lady forever. So that thou didst not lay these things to thy heart, neither didst remember the latter end of it." So you didn't lay these things to heart, man. You didn't think about the end of what was going to take place, right? It says, "Therefore hear now this, thou that art given to pleasures, that dwellest carelessly, that sayest in thy heart, I am, and none else beside me. I shall not sit as a widow, neither shall I know the loss of children. But these two things shall come upon thee in a moment, in one day, the loss of children and widowhood. They shall come upon thee in their perfection, for the multitude of thy sorceries, and for the great abundance of thine enchantments. For thou hast trusted in thy wickedness. Thou hast said, none seeth me. Thy wisdom and thy knowledge, it hath perverted thee. You see? And what are you people? Perverted. All right, look at Elon Musk and these different Edomites, man. They're perverted, man. Who's always doing the perversion? Who put all this porn on the internet? You did. Who runs these record labels? Who runs the music industry? Who broadcasts sex all over all over the place, man. You did. You're the devil. You know. It says thou hast said in thy heart, I am and none else beside me. Therefore shall evil come upon thee. Thou shalt not know from whence it riseth, and mischief shall fall upon thee. Thou shalt not be able to put it off, and desolation shall come upon thee suddenly, which thou shalt not know. Stand now with thine enchantments, and with the multitude of thy sorceries, wherein thou hast labored from thy youth. If so be thou shalt be able to profit. If so be thou mayest prevail. You see, call upon them sorceries. Call upon all the you know all the pervert everything. That's why these distractions are out here, because he's conjuring up spirit. Turn on the CERN. All right, play with your drones. Play with your AI. Bring out the AI robots. Call upon them. Call upon them. These things ain't gonna be able to save you, Esau. You are gonna be mine. You mine. You ours. The hand is betwixt the heel. Hey, talk to him. Hey, call upon these different deities. When you seen the last World Economic Forum, what they was doing? They had a witch up there putting the voodoo on their head, coughing on them. The Lord know. It says, "Thou hast labored from thy youth. If so be thou shalt be able to profit. If so be thou mayest prevail. Thou art weary in the multitude of thy counsels. Let now the astrologers and the stargazers, the monthly prognosticators, stand up and save thee from these things that shall come upon thee." You see? So let these people stand up and say, "Hey, you gonna be good. You good. You got another 50." No, you don't got another 50. Prophecy is on your ass, man. All right, and we hope, Lord willing, that this is it. All right, we hope that this is the beginning of the end. Okay. Uh, it says, "And save thee from these things that shall come upon thee. Behold, they shall be as stubble, the fire shall burn them, they shall not deliver themselves from the power of the flame, there shall not be a coal to warm at, nor fire to sit before it. Thus shall they be upon thee with whom thou hast labored, even thy merchants from thy youth." You see? Nobody, hey, the land of money, the milk and honey, it's over with. All right. It says from thy youth, you have tried to establish this place, right? Since you first got into power. All right. It says, "They shall wander every one to his quarter, none shall save thee." So nobody's gonna be able to save you, Esau. Nobody's gonna bail you out. Not the Japanese, right? Not Europe. Okay. Hey, nobody's going to do it. All right. So I just wanted to do this quick lesson through the spirit. There's more. All right, there's always more that can be said. Um, but hey, we in a beautiful time. We sitting back and watching. All right, popping. Pop. It's time to get like you say, get your house in order. Get your mind right. Gird up thy loins. So hey, with that, Lord willing, this is edifying. I want to end off by giving all the glory, infinite praise and honor unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Bahashim, Makakwadash, double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and peace, love, and salutation to the hopeful elect that is out there pushing this truth in all sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth, giving diligence to make their calling of election sure. Shalom.